Hey everybody, welcome to Texas 3-Step. We got a great episode for you guys this week, but we got a little bit of an update here. We're moving our episodes to Mondays and Fridays. We're going 2 times a week. Tyler, what's going on?
Yeah, we're going 2 times a week. And remember, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, so you can check us out on all those different things. And also, our social media is fire. So we're on at Texas 3-Step on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Check us out on all those. We got a lot of different things going for all 3 of those. But yeah, for the show today, we're going to be talking NFL, a short recap of last week. Like, the episode's already on Friday, so obviously y'all kind of know what happened last week. But we're going to be talking about the Titans and Steelers, that mess. And we'll be trying to straighten things out for y'all and kind of discuss that. And then, as always, we'll be giving our pick'ems for this week. I just got to say, I'm 13-2 so far, so I'm looking to have another week of 5-0. So get to 18-2 and a run away from you boys.
No.
And besides that, we'll be talking college football, all the chaos with really all the conferences. It's been a shit show so far. And then we'll be doing pick'ems. MLB just started playoffs. The boys will be talking about that. And then we'll be talking NBA Finals and Doc Rivers, all of the shit that's been happening with him. It's going to be a great show, guys. We're excited. Let's get started.
All right, let's start with the NFL. What do y'all want to talk about first that went on this week?
Let's cover the games for last weekend. Let's start with how about that Chiefs-Ravens game?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Freaking
Pat Mahomes. Do you think we talked about this? Yeah, he's back at it. Do you think we talked about the first episode? Do you think he was a little pissed off about that rating?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
He's like, oh, Lamar number 1? Hold on real quick. Yeah, they beat the shit out of the Ravens.
Lamar didn't even break 100 yards, did he?
Yeah, 100 yards passing.
Yeah, he didn't.
I don't think he's done that all in the game.
97. He had 83 yards rushing and lost 2 fumbles.
Yeah, if Dak Prescott did that, the whole freaking world would be ending for Cowboys fans.
Damn right. Well, Lamar Jackson's like the poster child now for some reason. For some reason, we put him always over Pat Mahomes for a lot of different things.
Did not deserve it.
No, he doesn't. I think we're like, as always, ESPN, all these places, they go for like the most wowing player. They like Lamar Jackson. They like Trey Young. They like all these guys, Giannis, and they haven't established like they're really good players
exactly.
yet. I think Pat Mahomes is more of a wow player than Lamar.
Way more.
Sorry, yeah, except for Patrick Mahomes. Yes, Patrick Star Mahomes. He doesn't have the running ability. I think that's kind of what puts Lamar over the edge. Just like wow factor.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It doesn't. He's not Mike Vick. I mean, it's Mike Vick did not be able to.
He might be better running the ball.
I mean, I don't know. Did you watch Mike Vick in like 2004?
Yeah, no, he was impressive. But I think what I look at is I think Lamar Jackson is just a little bit more controlled. They're both. I think Mike Vick is probably more elusive.
Yeah.
But I think Lamar Jackson, his vision's a little bit better. He's a little bit more controlled. I think, if I remember correctly, Mike Vick had a lot of fumble problems.
He did.
Lamar just had 2.
He did, but NFL offenses were not ready for Mike Vick. They were not ready. Even the Atlanta Falcons, they were not ready for Mike Vick.
Yeah, and that's what makes Lamar look a little bit better, is that they are ready. They have seen these running core QBs. We've had Cam. We've had all these guys, and Lamar's still shredding people. And I think Lamar's faster, honestly.
Oh, no, he might be a little bit faster, but I really, honestly, for the life of me, think that Mike Vick had a better arm.
Oh, absolutely. No. I totally agree with that. Mike's arm never got enough love.
It didn't.
He was a gunslinger.
Dude, he had one of the most beautiful like deep balls in the history of the entire NFL.
I honestly think we'd have to debate this part in another episode, but I think he's the best throwing lefty of all time.
By far. Who does he got to debate with?
Yeah, there's not many.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore.
It's definitely not Kellen Moore.
We know
No.
who Jerry would pick.
Yeah, but Lamar's his passing is not as sharp as everyone thinks. I think he got a little bit too much praise last year. He was efficient last year, but like when you're just torching people on the run, the pass is going to be wide open. Obviously,
he had like 15 tight ends.
Yeah, exactly. And his receivers are burners. We know that.
I mean, Steve Young was a great left-handed QB, but that's like all you really get towards the point of like the Mike Vick debate. But I really do think Lamar, like, I mean, I know he's not a left-handed QB, but
we're kind of bouncing back and forth. But they can follow us. Good job, drunk.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm drunk. Oktoberfest. Anyways,
boo.
But no. Anyways, no. I really do think that Lamar. I predicted this, and I've said it to a ton of people that he's going to get exposed for his passing ability, because if you don't get him on a rollout, if you don't get him on something that's play action and doesn't get them committed, the entire defense committed to the run, if you stay honest to the man, then he's not that great of a passer.
Damn right. You're totally right. We're gonna have to see him. It's the same with all running QBs. What can he do in the pocket? Can he drop back and just sling the ball around the field? If they take away the run, what is he able to do? This is what makes Pat Mahomes just so much better player than him, because he's just like any throw he can make. Lamar, there's a lot of questions on some of the throws he can make and some of the decisions he makes. And then from what we saw on Monday, he's a little bit turnover prone too. Yeah. So,
I mean, if you're going to take chances, then you're turnover prone. It doesn't matter who you are in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a good point.
I think turnovers is the most overrated stat in the NFL by far, because if you're going to take chances, if you're going to be the person that's going to go for it in the NFL, obviously every now and then you're going to make a turnover. So,
I don't know about that. It depends what teams you're playing. If you're playing the Chiefs, there's no room for turnovers.
Yeah, because
they're going to score every single drive. You can't give them extra drives. But if you're playing the Jets, give them 10 turnovers. They still won't score. Sorry ass team.
They're going 0-16, by the way.
They are going 0-16. I want to ask y'all about that. We have many teams. They're like 0-3 right now. Jets, Broncos, Texans. Let's say, I think everyone thinks the Jets are most likely to go 0-16, but of the other teams, who do you think is most likely to go 0-16? Oh, and the Vikings.
Of the other teams?
Vikings, Giants, Eagles have not won, but they have a tie.
Of the other teams, I would say Broncos, but my number one pick is Jets.
Yeah, what do you think, Cody?
I think it's the Giants. They're horrible. Saquon's out, and I would say it's between them and the Broncos, but the Broncos are eventually going to get Drew Lock back. So I thought they were probably like a 6-7 win team with them. So I think they'll probably win like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, I think Giants and the Jets, the New York teams.
It's
a rough year for them.
It's a rough year.
Injuries.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough year for New York.
Yeah.
It's always a rough year for New York.
Stephen A is probably like every time he goes home after being on first take for 5.5 hours, he's probably just going home, pouring himself a glass of whiskey, and just staring out his window, just in so much pain.
The only thing.
His Knicks are terrible. The Jets, Giants, like every New York team. I guess the only redeemer right now is the Yankees. I'm not sure if he's a Yankees fan.
Yankees are performing, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if he even follows.
They're the only
baseball.
New York team that's showing up. I don't think so. I think he's more of a Knicks, and then he's probably more Knicks.
He knows. I will give him a little bit more respect than a lot of people will. He does know quite a bit about baseball. Yes, he does. If you listen to a lot of his broadcasts, he knows quite a little bit. I'm not going to give him a ton of respect, but I'll give him a little bit.
I don't watch him, honestly. I just see the memes at this point, because I have no desire to watch First Take for 5.5 hours talking about, is LeBron better than MJ every day, or all these different stupid debates that they have. And I could go off on a rant about this, but I won't today. But I didn't know he was good at baseball. I know he tried MMA, and that was a freaking disaster.
Terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible.
The good thing, another good thing about Stephen A. Smith is First Take has kind of helped prepare us for the presidential debates.
Oh, jeez.
We're not talking about that.
We're not. But if we start talking over each other, I'm gonna have to do my best. Chris Wallace is like, guys. I'm the moderator.
Damn it, Cody.
Give me some respect.
Where's the mute button on Quentin?
Where's the mute?
Clown. You're a clown.
Anywho, you're not that smart, Cody. Anyways.
Hey, you're messing with the wrong guy on the wrong day.
I bet people are having PTSD when they listen.
Oh my God.
Having PTSD.
Let's not bring it back anymore. Other NFL games from the last week that stood out to y'all. Anything else you guys learned?
The Cowboys' offensive line sucks.
And the secondary
sucks. Their secondary sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
The only good thing about their team is the quarterback.
Should we talk about Earl a little bit?
So
are y'all going to get Earl
Earl
Thomas?
So he like acted like he had a deal with the Texans, and it was like almost a done deal, and then he backed out of it at the last second, or did they back out of it?
I don't think it was him. I think it was the reports. There are saying like it was a done deal, and then I don't even think he got a chance to work out for them.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They basically, I think he traveled, and I think they sent him back, basically.
See, that's crazy to me. See, that would be a big red flag. If you don't sign Earl Thomas and you had the open market completely to him, probably was going to be a cheap deal to the Texans, then I would not bring him in. I mean, this is a Cowboys team that sent Clinton Dix packing because he was god awful. Like you really think that like a broken down Earl Thomas is going to fix this? No, your secondary is basically a freaking peewee football secondary, and Earl Thomas is not even going to come in and fix this. Like you need to trade a first round pick to get somebody.
It's absolutely, but it's not fixed at the end of the day. At least it's more of just like at least you get a body. So
a patch.
At the end of the day, it's a patch.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like the boat is sinking and there's so many holes. At least you're filling a few holes, sort of. It's not sinking as fast.
I got you.
But it was crazy. I think it's a red flag. The Texans sent him back. It's also a red flag. It's been like a month and nobody's won him. So clearly, there's something the NFL teams know that we don't know.
Yeah,
and clearly they don't want to deal with this.
Right, exactly.
It's probably the Ravens are probably telling the other owners and GMs what really happened or something to cause a red flag.
Oh, he got blacklisted.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're saying.
Bingo.
It's like whoever's a GM, he's just calling people around. Yeah, don't hire this guy. Don't hire this guy.
Every time he sees a rumor.
So
dang, that's tough for him. But I'm sure he's got money.
So can
off of. I'm sure he's good.
Can I say a take real quick? Just a Quentin Radford take. Also, stay with me, fans. I'm drunk, but
Go ahead.
A drunken Radford take.
Yeah, when did Carson Wentz become such a trash QB?
What? Well, this is gonna be what y'all are gonna say to Mitch when I talk about Mitch.
Mitch has always been trash. Don't even try to tell me that Mitch has been good.
No, and that's what I was gonna say. Is Carson Wentz? When was he ever really?
He was an MVP candidate. Yeah, he was an MVP candidate.
That was the only year, though. That was the only year, and every single time.
And it's the same with Mitch. No. I feel like Mitch had one decent year.
No, he didn't.
He was never an MVP candidate. Carson Wentz.
He was never MVP candidate, but there was still both those guys had 1 year where everyone was like, "Oh, these guys could be."
There was
good.
1 year where they thought Mitch could be pretty good. There was 1 year where they thought Carson Wentz might be the best QB in the NFL. And when Carson Wentz,
that was stupid.
No,
they never.
He was great. That. He was great, but then he got hurt, and Nick Foles came in and took them to an entire freaking Super Bowl championship. Which is crazy. Again. And then Carson Wentz got hurt again. And then hurt again. And then now he's throwing
Groundhog Day
now he's
for
throwing
him.
Interceptions and tying the freaking Bills, and they're 0-2-1. and it's or not the Bills, the Bengals. Sorry, my bad. The Bills are actually really good this year, but yeah,
yes, they are.
But now he's tying the Bengals for 0-2-1, and it's like, what happened to this dude? And I think honestly, all the injuries has piled up on him, and I think it's such a big setback and such a big shell shock now to where he's lost development, and now he's stuck here.
Yeah, I think I agree with that take, and I'll take a step farther. Just you get to a point, like me personally, I played the quarterback position and I snapped my arm in half, gruesome injury. Really, like for a long time, it was very hard for me to kind of get back in that rhythm I still had. Because it's just like you get to a point where you're always injured. It's just like you're checking on your hand, you're making sure it's good all the time. You're just like, you're constantly in that mode where you're thinking about the different parts of your body that are injured. And it takes you away from the game. And that's probably his case. He's always thinking about trying to stay healthy, and he's not thinking about, I need to go out here and ball.
Right.
He also has a horrible offensive line.
Yeah, which probably makes it even worse. He's like, oh shoot, this might be another game that get hurt.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this as a Cowboys fan. I don't want to be like overly biased against Dak. But now Dak has a god-awful offensive line with 3 backups and as starters now, and they had to move Zach Martin all the way over to right tackle, and he's still putting up numbers.
Yeah, he's putting up numbers, but I think I can't remember who made this point, but they're putting up numbers, they're putting up points, but at the end of the day, it's like it feels like they have to do that every single game.
It's because of defense, dude. The secondary. The secondary
it's
was
amazing.
Rated the worst secondary in the NFL over the past 2 weeks combined. Oh man, if it wasn't drunk, I'd give you more metrics, but
yeah. But like, I feel like Dak's numbers are going to start going down, especially with what you guys said about the offensive line.
Well, Tyron Smith is expected back, hopefully this week. That's the biggest key to the entire offensive line. Yeah. That's the biggest key.
Good.
That man,
good for them.
That man, how big that guy is. He wears a knee brace on his right arm. Yeah, he wears a knee brace on his right arm. That is how big that man is. And that is the biggest key to the entire Cowboys offensive line. If he is, then everybody else moves over one. Because that man is a freaking cinder block and you can't move him.
Hey, Tyler, how old do you think Tyron Smith is?
I have no idea.
Take a
he's in his 30s?
Nope. We're in his 30s.
Oh, no, I'm going to say he's 31?
29.
He's 29? That's 2 years off.
Yeah.
He's 29. He's already
injuries is keeping this man from being one of the best left tackles in NFL history.
No, what's wild is he still is. It seems like he's been in the NFL. He's been in the NFL for like 10 years.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Yeah, he got drafted out of a sophomore in college. It was crazy.
Yeah.
He's probably a redshirt sophomore, yeah. And then he was probably younger coming in. That's crazy.
Juju Smith-Schuster was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully he can stay healthy for the Cowboys. It's just, I feel like we had very high hopes coming in. And it's just got deflated.
I don't think they're deflated. I think that we've realized that how absolutely terrible the defense is. And it's like they're going to be basically the kind of honestly the same team they are last year. They should have paid Byron Jones. If you pay Byron Jones with this defense, then you have a team coming into this year that can at least take out the number one receiver at every team. And you watched the Seahawks game, and they just got freaking absolutely pelted by Lockett the entire game. He was wide open. He was sitting wide open the entire game. And you cannot, if you expect a Cowboys team to scheme against somebody, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no hope.
Yeah.
And they were a Diggs forced fumble away from it being a blowout.
Absolutely.
Had Metcalf not gone into the end zone showboating, that would have been a blowout.
Absolutely.
They wouldn't have had any chance.
Absolutely. But that was heartbreaking. Let's move on to another game.
let's move over to the other Texas team. Have you all got a chance to watch a little bit of Texans?
Yeah, it's not very
tragic
good
over there.
Unfortunately, I've watched them.
Yeah, it's just Deshaun Watson. The Cowboys line is bad, but Texans. You might as well just like line up nobody at lineman. That's basically how Deshaun's playing. That's how
I
he's
feel
played his whole
terrible
career.
for
it seems
Deshaun.
like.
Not even an actual receiver has caught a touchdown for him yet, have they?
I don't. No,
I don't think
Ever since
Brandon Cooks.
Let me look at this.
Brandon Cooks maybe did.
Randall Cobb has
that's
one.
the
That's what I
only
was thinking
touchdown.
And Will
That's the
Fuller
only
has
two
one,
touchdowns
too.
since they let DeAndre Hopkins get traded by receivers.
Yeah,
It took 3 weeks.
they got two. Yeah, this just obviously production has gone down from the receivers as expected, and they've got no production at running back. David Johnson had 13 carries for 23 yards. Everyone else, Deshaun Watson had 5 yards.
Okay.
Pro Size had 1 yard.
For this,
Like-
the Steelers have an awesome defense, though. Great defensive line.
Oh, absolutely. But David Johnson has not been productive. For
Yeah,
them
he had
since the
a
first
good
game.
week one, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. Defensively, they're not awful. Holding Steelers to 28 is not bad, but Big Ben obviously is still not 100% yet.
Yeah.
You know,
He's so
he
rusty.
is rusty, but it's been impressive for being so rusty.
Yeah,
Come from a
come from
Tommy
elbow
John
injury.
surgery.
Yeah.
That is insane.
about that?
MLB pitchers don't come back and like do as good as he's done. This is incredibly impressive by him. And I know he's been throwing up some like freaking wonky passes and they haven't been like super tight spirals, but he's getting the job done. And you know, I mean, honestly, I think I really do think the Steelers might be some kind of hard team to handle, man. They're 3-0 right now.
Yeah, they have.
No, I totally
an
agree with
elite
you.
defense, a solid offense, and Ben's just getting better.
Yeah, he's getting better every single week, and he's done better every single week. And it's like, man, I've never been one to really been a big supporter of Ben Roethlisberger, but man, I was like watching the games. I know he's throwing like really like loppy, like way up in the air passes, but so does Russell Wilson, and they get completed every single time. So.
Well, Russell Wilson's not freaking.
Russell Wilson's throwing dimes for freaking like 3 straight years now, and he's never gotten the respect he deserves.
Nope.
Oh yeah,
It's all Collinsworth's fault.
again. Once again, we're gonna keep saying this after every game. He should
absolutely
be the MVP.
He's on pace for 75 touchdowns this year. Can we talk about real quick how crazy the stat lines are so far this year? Dak's on pace for over 6,000 passing yards, and Russell Wilson's on pace for over 70 touchdowns. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and we just talked about Big Ben. We're not even talking about Aaron Rodgers, too, who's also
Aaron Rodgers is on pace for 50. I was like, oh my God. I think that missing the preseason, typically you would think missing like the preseason to get your offense ready would make the defense look better. But oh my God. The offenses looked insane. Yeah,
it's because it's what we talked about, though. It's this shift to college offenses. Green Bay, Matt LaFleur his system is coming from college. Chiefs, college system. All these different teams are incorporating different things.
Yeah,
Cardinals, absolutely. Although, what's his name? Did not have that good game.
Yeah, I know they lost.
I don't know why I always forget names. He was a little, he was down that game. Not his best game.
I really think Kyler is the real deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's going to have growing pains. I mean, he's a short dude. He's a little dude, but man, absolutely. I was like, every single time I watch him, I'm like, this dude has something special.
Yeah, he does. And just all these special QBs and these special like college offenses, it's so unbeatable. It's crazy, but it seems like Steelers and all these other teams, we're getting better defenses too. It's kind of one of those things. It's just like the defenses have to adjust and have to get better, and they're kind of evolving too with it, which is nice to see. Absolutely. But anything else from last weekend that stood out to y'all? Any quick stuff?
A question.
Move on to picks.
How would y'all rank the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL just this season?
One by one, each of us? Tyler, go first.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll go first. Let's go Russ, Pat Mahomes. I got Aaron Rodgers. After that. There's my top 3. Q, do you want to say your top 3 real quick while I think of the other 2?
Is Pat, Russ, Aaron Rodgers. I give my top 5 real quick. All right, yeah. So it's Pat.
Go ahead.
It's Pat, Russ, Aaron Rodgers. It's Dak, and then it's Josh Allen right now. Right now. Now, if things change,
yeah, make that emphasis.
Yes, if things
Careful
change,
now.
Josh Allen's out of there. But he's been performing as a top 5 QB. Drew Brees has been awful this year. I mean, some of these older guys, Tom Brady hasn't been up to snuff. And so Josh Allen is right now my top 5 QB, number 5. I think Dak's number 4, and I think numbers really support all of these rankings right here.
Yeah, so I gotta figure out. I go Russ. Who did I say?
You said
Mahomes and Rodgers.
I said Russ, Mahomes, Rodgers. I got Dak number 4. I got a tie between Cam and Josh Allen.
Patriot.
I think
Patriots bias.
Cam's been solid too. Patriots bias a little bit, but Cam has been very solid and efficient. And I didn't expect that from him. I expected the first game they're just going to use him as a running back, but he's been solid with them, especially with the guys they have. Good. It's been impressive. So I think with them, whoever pulls ahead for that 5 spot is kind of whoever starts to take the lead in that division. I kind of throw that wrench in there. But yeah, Cody, what do you think?
Number 5, I'm going to go Josh Allen for the same, and just listen to Quentin's explanation. Yeah. Mine's the exact same. And I'm going to go with a tie for number 3 between Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers. I would say Aaron Rodgers is 3A and Dak is 3B.
Okay.
Just because of
Aaron Rodgers basically is 3 and Dak is 4.
Same thing as me, yes.
But it's razor. I think it's razor thin where I want to do it 3A and 3B. With record as the
whatever floats your boat.
And then
what did you say?
Water floats my boat.
Wow,
water floats your boat.
That was such a dad joke.
Go to your next pick, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Then 2, Pat Mahomes, and number 1, Russell Wilson.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I think
it's pretty fluid.
We'll see how that kind of. Yeah, I think all of them. They'll kind of move around as we go into these weeks. Hopefully, Josh Allen gets the hell off that list. But
shit, man! If he does, I honestly buy the Bills. I 100% buy them. I don't even care if Josh Allen is the real deal. I just buy the team.
Drunk Quentin buying the Bills.
I'm very. Yeah,
we'll see. Sober Quentin would too. This was sober Quentin's opinion, and he told Drunk Quentin. He said, "Hey, go to Oktoberfest." Go drink all these all these beers, not these bills. And then he said, "Hey, come back on the show and say you support the Bills." Nobody rounds the tables quite like the Buffalo Bills. All right, I don't even know if that's the right quote, but
well, you hear it, you hear it right now. Q is now officially a Bills fan. No longer a Cowboys fan. He sounds very high. Sober and drunk Q love the Bills.
He was telling us off air that he hates Dak Prescott. He effing hates Dak Prescott.
Well, you know what, Cody? I hate you.
Yeah.
I hate you too.
I love you.
Wow. Whoa. Anyways, last thing before we get to our picks, we got to talk about the Titans and Steelers situation real quick. That was a shit show, to say the least. You know, I'm going to use how that one CNN guy described the debate. He's like, it was a shit show inside of a train wreck,
Taco Bell,
of a dumpster
inside
fire.
of a KFC,
that's basically what it was.
Inside of a fart.
Boo. You ruined the joke. But anyways, it's just like, it seemed like the NFL didn't really have a plan
that's disappointing
for this. And that Yeah, and then they thought like, oh, you guys can just play without any practices this week.
Yeah.
Like, what? Y'all, all these injuries we've had, you want them going in there?
Derrick Henry would have broke his leg. Ryan Tannehill would have broke his forehead. It would have been over.
Huh.
Interesting. I haven't heard of too many
You
forehead
haven't been drunk enough.
breaking injuries. Roethlisberger would have broken that other elbow somehow. So, he tried to throw one pass lefty, get Tommy Johns on that. But it's just like, and now we don't know what the situation is. Like,
No,
are they going to be moving bye weeks or
They said
anything?
they're
Like,
going to be moving it to basically the end of the season.
Okay, so is there a buffer week?
Yeah, it's not super clear, but they just literally said they're going to be moving it towards the end of the season. And so it may get everybody else a bye week. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like, why didn't you from the beginning just have this in place? Like, hey, we're gonna have a week 18 in there for makeup games just in case.
They should have done.
I mean, but they did announce that they have in place plans that they could possibly move the Super Bowl all the way back to February 28th and cancel the Pro Bowl. And so they had these plans in place to where they could move.
Which they should.
Well, they need to cancel. They should cancel the Pro Bowl.
Exactly,
but that
still.
shit needs to go.
I was talking to Quentin. I think they should redo the Pro Bowl where it's like how the NBA redid the All-Star game, where it's like the first team to 70 and do a halftime.
That was the most fun All-Star game in
hits or eclipses 35. Yeah.
I just think football is not a good sport to do all-star games.
No.
It's just like when you're in this collision sport where you can get hurt easily, and then you're playing a game that doesn't matter. Like, guys don't want to play hard.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to picks.
Yeah. What I will say before we go real quick, what they should do if they want to just really throw things out in the air, they should have people play different positions in the Pro Bowl.
Could you imagine?
Just mix everyone
Pat Mahomes
around.
As your center, Brian Lindor as your quarterback,
Lamar Jackson at running back.
Yes. All the fat guys have to play.
See, that's my
all the
thing
skill
right there.
guys have to play fat positions.
I would pay good money to see that, and I'd bet good money on that.
There would be so many injuries.
That'd be great. Oh, absolutely. Well, they would really not be taking it seriously at that point. It'd be basically like a flag football game. But anyways, we're going to move on to picks. We could definitely come back to that debate, though. I feel like we have some dead time, but we're going to do some picks for this week. Not that great of games this week. I think you guys probably agree with me on that, right?
Not that great of games across the board. Well, there's some good college games, but we're pretty unanimous on who we think's going to win. Yeah,
and we'll announce those in the college football segment a little bit. But first game, we got Browns 2-1, Cowboys 1-2. 12 o'clock game, Fox. Dallas is favored by 4, and it's an over-under of 56 points. Let's start with the drunk man of this group chat.
Oktoberfest.
Who you got in this one?
Has not swayed my decisions on the Cowboys game. I still got the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And for one sole reason, I think that Dak Prescott brings them back. Once again, I think that this is another sloppy start to the Cowboys game. And they start off down, but because it's the Browns and I don't trust the Browns, I don't think they go down very far. And I think Dak Prescott brings them back, and I think they win it. What is the over-under? You said 4? -4?
So Dallas is favored by 4. Over-under is 56.
I honestly take the under. Yeah.
You take the under,
Cowboys.
and then do you think Cowboys or the Browns will cover?
Yes.
So it'll be over 4 points. Yeah. I'm going with Cowboys too. I think Browns are not built to attack the Cowboys'
I think they are, actually.
weaknesses on their defense. They're going to run the ball heavily, but Baker's not going to tear up that secondary.
I think Josh Freeman could tear up that secondary
at this point. Potentially. It's just, I think at the end of the day, it's like I think their focus is going to be on stopping Nick Chubb. And I don't think they're going to be worried too much.
Yeah.
Baker is Baker.
Yeah, he's going to make a
At the end of the day,
mistake,
he's not
obviously.
Pat Mahomes. And I trust that the Cowboys are going to put up more points than the Browns. That's just how I feel. I got Dallas covering the spread. 56. I'll go under on this. Cody, what do you think?
I'm going to say the over. I don't think either defense is going to get many stops. But I do think that agree with Quentin that the Cowboys are probably going to have to climb a little because the Browns have a good offensive line defensive line that's probably going to exploit the Cowboys offensive line. But I do think the Cowboys defensive line gets on track in the game, has a solid showing, at least in the passing game. I have the
pass rush.
Yeah. I do have the Cowboys winning, and I think they cover.
Interesting note before we move on to the next game. This is the third time that the three of us have picked Cowboys. We're 1-1 so far. So we get this right. We're in positive territory, boys.
Yes,
if not, we should probably stop
because I'm a
it.
Cowboys fan. Stop fucking picking them, Tyler.
Whoa.
Bleep that.
Drunky, watch the language. No.
Nah, get that top five.
Anyways,
Sorry.
next one we got.
You got me saying curse words. My bad.
Yeah,
Keep going.
you're good. Stop saying
He's an
Oktoberfest.
angry
You are
drunk.
special. Apparently. Next game, we got a very fun one, just like this Thursday night game. We got 0-3 Vikings at 0-3 Texans. Texans are also favored by 4 points, just like the Dallas game. And the game is at the same time, 12 o'clock. Over-under is 54.5. I'll start us off real quick. I'll be brief. I think Texans finally get a win here. I think Deshaun will have a good week, and I think it's going to be a shit show. Regardless, it's going to be a mess, but I got a lot of points in this game. I got the over on this. Cody, who you got?
Well, I wanted the Texans to win last week. They disappointed me. So screw the Texans. I'm going with the Vikings. I think and hope Dalvin Cook runs all over them this week. The Texans just aren't very good defensively, so I think that Vikings offense should have a good game.
So when I entered this season, I was really high on the Vikings. Honestly, I really honestly think overall they're a pretty solid team all around. And honestly, I was never high on the Texans. So I'm gonna go Vikings, and I will bet you, Tyler. I will bet you right now, 100 push-ups that Kirk Cousins throws 3 touchdowns in this game.
100 push-ups.
100
Can we at least
push-ups.
do money?
100
Golly,
push-ups.
I actually want something of this.
Of course, the Jew wants money.
Damn, of course I want money. But I'm fine with, second to money is groceries, and third to groceries. Does that make sense? Is
right.
gains. So I'll take gains. That's fine.
Deal.
But yeah, I'll take that.
No,
bet.
I think he throws 3 touchdowns.
There's no way he's throwing 3
throws
touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. 2 of them are Thielen, and 1 of them is to Jefferson. And I think that the Vikings win the game.
I'm thinking Dalvin Cook's going to have a lot of running touchdowns. Like he'll have
100
3.
push-ups on the line. We're filming it.
We'll see. But mark that down. Next game, we got Colts Bears. 2-1 Colts at the 3-0 Bears.
Nick Foles.
Who would have thought the Bears would
the
be
Falcons
undefeated? Not
need
me.
to just die.
Yes, absolutely. But anyways, games at 12. Indianapolis is favored by 2.5, so it's basically even. Over-under's 43. This is the lowest scoring game of the 5 games that we're picking. Under? Yeah, I'm probably picking under too. I'm going Bears on this game. What are y'all thinking?
Same. Yep. The Bears.
We're all thinking Bears. The Bears. Bear down. Anyways, we're not even going to give a reason.
Yes.
We just hope Nick Foles does well.
Nick Foles is the reason.
Nick Foles is the reason, and Mitch is definitely
you
not
need
the
to
reason.
apologize
I will come
to
out and
everybody.
say that now. I apologize to everyone who somehow thought I was on the Mitch Trubisky bandwagon.
You are.
I was just giving him a little bit of slack. I feel bad for people sometimes. I have a heart. I have empathy
we have no
for
heart.
people. Unlike these two.
Tyler
bozos.
doesn't have a heart. Tyler's lying.
My
He
heart
doesn't have
tells
a heart.
me that
I've been.
Mitch is a bitch.
No, whoa, golly. But I agree now. Yes. Next game, we got Patriots at the Chiefs. Cam against Pat Mahomes. This is a 3:25 CBS game. I'm not sure why this isn't the primetime game. It should be.
Well, what are
Whatever.
the primetime games?
Kansas City's favored by. I don't even know, to be honest. It's some shitty game. Hold on a minute.
Eagles and
Wait a minute.
49ers.
Hold on.
Sunday Night Football.
But they got Nick Mullins as
jeez.
quarterback right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. That shouldn't be it. But Kansas City's favored by 7, over under 53. It's looking like Q. If you want to change your pick, but I think we
Wait,
all
who did I
agree
pick?
that Chiefs are going to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I'm not going to change my
You
pick
pick the
on that one.
Chiefs.
Yeah, every single chance I get,
Just
I'm going to
making
keep
sure.
Pat Mahomes in the over. This is a bad bet otherwise.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yep.
Patriots DBs have not been very
Yeah.
good this year, so I think picking the over is a good decision. The question is, do Chiefs cover the spread, that 7-point spread?
I think so,
I
too.
think so. I think Chiefs win by 10. That's my guess.
I do think
I
I think Cam will play
I
well.
think Cam will play well. They're just
Yeah.
defensively, they have some problems.
they had a
which is
lot of
weird
people opt out, though.
they've
So-
always been good defensively. Yeah, it really hurt them, but they're getting hurt in the places. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I take that back. They lost Patrick Chung and some of the DBs. So yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, Patriots. I think after this game, they're gonna need to start looking towards trading or fixing kind of that secondary and looking to kind of adjust some things. They're in good shape, but
Right.
they're not as good as they could be, I think. So yeah. Final game. We got the Bills at the Raiders. Game is at 3:25. CBS, Buffalo, and Josh Allen. They're favored by 2.5
Who would have
points.
thought?
Are you
Over-unders.
kidding me? That's such a low.
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's such disrespect.
I know.
No,
I
Bills are
would
going
put
to
it
win
at
by
least
plus 10.
5, but
Plus 10.
plus 10. Put some
I don't
respect
care
on
about
John
his
Gruden
fake.
and his
I don't care about his fake haka.
speeches. Come on now.
All right. I don't
That's
care
what
about
I'm
John
talking
Gruden's fake haka. That's not even anywhere close to real haka. All right. The Bills are such a solid team. All Josh Allen has to do, is just throw short freaking red zone touchdown passes. That's all he has to do. It doesn't matter.
And run the ball.
And run the ball and
Yeah.
stiff arm mofos.
And run the ball,
It's
yep.
ridiculous, dude. The Bills are such a solidly based team. There is not really a weak point. The weakest point on that team is their quarterback, who has been playing really well, and so that's scary to me.
I totally agree with you.
No, I don't either.
I don't buy the Raiders. I really don't. They're 2-1 because I don't think they beat two. Well, they beat the Saints.
Drew Brees can't throw
Saints aren't
over 5 yards
actually that
anymore.
good,
So
it seems like. Yeah, so that 2-1
Yeah,
record is
I agree.
deceiving. They'll be 2-2 after this
Yeah.
week. I think we all agree.
Yes.
Cody, you think Bills?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So we're done with the 5 games. Just recap. We all picked the Cowboys. We all picked the Bears. We all picked the Chiefs. And we all picked the Bills. Y'all picked the Vikings. I picked the Texans. So not much is going to change after this week, but we'll see. Anyways, we're going to move on to college football next. And we're moving on to college football. We got a surprise guest to join us today. We got Graeme, the longtime A&M fan. So we'll see how this show goes. Boo.
I won't boo you.
And it's fitting with him. We're going to talk about all the chaos that happened in the SEC. I think the game I want to talk about first is, let's start with the LSU game right off the bat. LSU got upset by Mike Leach and Mississippi State. Graeme, what are your thoughts on that? Your
I
initial
expected
thoughts.
LSU to come out flat. I did. I didn't expect it to be as flat as they were. I mean, pitiful offense. I think we can all agree that it was just pitiful.
Hail State.
I expected at least a lot of the people I talk SEC football with expected LSU to come out flat, just with the losing of lots of good players. But I mean, honestly, it was just kind of crazy. And now looking at it, it looks like Vanderbilt, the spread's only 21 points with Vanderbilt, which I think last year was much, much more. So,
They definitely could have another tough game with Vanderbilt. We'll see, because Vanderbilt played your Aggies pretty tough. So we'll see.
Yeah, they did.
That.
And Vanderbilt's quarterback was shockingly accurate. There was a couple of plays that I saw where he was just sneaking balls in inches of space. It was ridiculous. Where A&M's defense was in the perfect spot to make great defensive plays, and the ball just snuck past him. It was pretty impressive for I think his name's Seals. Yeah, it's pretty impressive turnout for Seals, but just couldn't get the ball a couple times to where he needed to be, and he ended up with 2 interceptions that game. But if he corrects those mistakes, they have a pretty good chance of putting it to LSU.
Yeah, LSU already in hot water. Yeah. Obviously, they lost so many guys. Some guys opted out. Like literally half the starters got drafted.
That's happening a lot with the SEC teams. Is a lot of these guys are opting out of the season and declaring the draft.
But I think LSU got hit the hardest for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, they got hit the hardest. They got hit the hardest regardless. Anyways, they had so many people go to the draft this past year. It didn't matter. Okay. It didn't matter if they had a full season without COVID. They were still going to be a shell of themselves. And it doesn't matter. I mean, Joe Burrow sparked something within LSU that they haven't seen before since 2005?
Since Nick Saban was there,
whatever. 2008, whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
Exactly.
It was before 2010.
Yeah.
Really, probably the best season they had with Les Miles.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw something like that. But coming into the season, they weren't a 6 seed. I'm not sure why they're rated that high. Like you'd think with all these subtractions, they would be outside the top 10, but I guess not. Maybe a SEC bias.
By far.
I don't know, but they're not a top 10 team. I don't think they're a top 20 team. No, you're still there.
I never really trust what the ranking system looks like the first 3 weeks, because you just really don't know until a team gets into a groove. What was it last year, 2 years ago? It was last year when Texas was pretty close on beating LSU. But if Texas would have played LSU at the end of that season, it wouldn't have been even close.
Absolutely.
Well,
don't show your bias here, Tyler. Come on.
Actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. I do agree with that, because at that point, our defense was completely gone. Everyone was hurt, and Joe Burrow was just a monster. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Definitely, these rankings.
Joe Burrow is showing this in the NFL right now that he is the real deal. So
yeah,
come on.
But also, in my personal opinion, that LSU football team last year was probably the best college football team to ever set foot on the gridiron.
2000s, the early 2000s Miami teams have something to say to you about that one, but okay.
Dude.
Yeah, I would throw. Well, I definitely think they're top 5. I'd throw up there the Trojan teams.
Yeah,
two teams they had
Reggie
with Reggie Bush and Liner.
Come on,
you gotta say Vince Young in their team. But he's not gonna say
no
it.
way.
He's not gonna say it.
No way.
2014 TCU.
College football.
Shut the hell up, Cody. No.
If college football playoffs were a thing when Young was at Texas wouldn't have gotten out of the first round.
I disagree. I 100% disagree. I think Vince Young might have been. I think Vince Young might have been the best college.
We just agreed that USC is one of the best teams of all time, and they beat USC. I don't know how you can say
Vince Young might have been the best, one of the, if not the best, top 3 best college football quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, and
I'll put that against anybody. I don't even care. Vince Young was, if not the number one, he was a top three.
Yeah, you said Vince Young was a top three. And I think Johnny Manziel would have to go ahead and smack him out of that top spot. If you're talking,
you want to talk about Johnny
college football quarterback?
What?
You
We're talking college football.
You want to talk about college football? What about Dak Prescott bringing Mississippi State to number one ranking in the first time in their history with a bunch of 3-star athletes? Come on.
Oh no, Dak Prescott.
Damn,
great quarterback.
The bias is real between all of us.
I mean,
we're all just picking our favorite quarterback of all time. We're not going to get anywhere with this debate. Cody, you want to throw out TCU quarterback so we can
Andy Dalton
completely mess this up?
I'm not about to throw out Andy Dalton or Trevon Boykin.
oh God.
I partied with Trayvon Boykin one time.
That's true. I was there.
Yeah, Graham was there. Me and Graham partied with Trayvon Boykin one time. We got absolutely hammered. It was a great night.
Yep. It was a great night.
Nice.
One of the greatest teams in college football history was 2008 Texas A&M.
2008 Texas A&M.
Yeah.
It was a troll job.
To be honest, I don't know.
As an Aggie, I can easily admit that we have never had, at least in my era of Aggie football,
Been relevant? Yeah.
No,
I'd agree.
2012 we went 11-2 our first season in the SEC. That's pretty relevant.
Hey, can I add in real quick?
And it haven't been relevant.
You didn't even make a BCS bowl.
What are you talking about?
The Cotton Bowl wasn't a BCS bowl.
When that year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because the college football ratings will shit on A&M all day. That's why
rightfully so.
Texas can barely.
Oh no, the world's all out to get A&M.
That's why Texas can barely beat a team and go up 3-4 spots, and A&M beat a team and go down a spot.
See,
hey,
two
Tyler,
spots. Sorry,
wait,
down
wait.
2 spots.
Tyler.
Okay, so we went up one spot, and then I think y'all also went up after being Vanderbilt.
No,
so that's
we
not
started the
quite
season ranked 11.
Go ahead,
I would like to
Cody.
put a theory real quick. Graham, what's your favorite NFL team?
Go ahead.
My favorite NFL team, the Patriots.
What?
Wow, that I was.
Hell no. I'm the biggest Cowboys hater there is.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
This is weird because we're both Patriots fans. I don't know how to feel about
No
this.
longer a
Go, Pats, go.
Patriots bandwagon.
Yeah, I guess I need to change teams now. Damn, I want polluted by Aggies. Shit. Right when we got Cam. Wow, y'all are the worst. Let's get back to these games real quick. Let's see. Let's talk about another top 10 team that went down. Let's talk about Oklahoma losing to Kansas State.
Hell yes. Joklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Strikes
Zero
again.
U is what we call them in my family.
Love it. I love it. We all hate
Screw
OU, obviously. It doesn't matter what Texas team we
Well,
we
OU
all
is a
hate
Texas
OU.
team.
Come on,
Yeah, they're UT
What?
Norman.
Cody. We're canceling you now.
Right.
No, all their
Right.
players are from Texas.
That's
That is true,
Well,
but
most college football players are from Texas because
but
Texas
most-
develops the best football players.
exactly, like freaking almost 50% of the NFL is from Texas. Cody, come on.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, are you gonna say Jacksonville is Texas?
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna say Nick Foles in
say
Chicago is Texas North? Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, Cody, shut up.
UT Chicago.
UT Chicago.
UT Chicago. Everything's UT. I love it. And then we're trying to take over every team and just slowly surround A&M.
TCU
They're the
Chicago.
last
Is that
stronghold.
better?
TCU.
Wait, Graham, what do you call
Yeah.
UT? TU, right?
TU, yeah,
Thank
because
you.
they're not the University of Texas.
Ooh.
Technically,
So they're Texas University. Does
Technically,
it?
Baylor was the
Okay.
first university in the state of Texas. A&M followed after. Texas was the 3rd or 4th university to enter Texas.
Yeah, but they
I
rate
mean, does
people.
it matter?
I mean, you can't say you're the University of Texas.
I don't
if
think
you
anyone
weren't
cares about
the
the.
university that started it.
I mean, they got the name first, so does it matter? Maybe Baylor and A&M should have taken that name.
Well, back
That's on them. That's
back
bad
in those
marketing
days,
from
A&M
them.
was 10
I don't
times
know.
more relevant than Texas was. Back in those days.
Back in the 1890s.
They did
What was
win
it?
like
Yeah,
win like 3
1890s.
titles in the 20s.
Yes, we did.
Oh, just like
We do have more.
TCU.
We
Oh,
do have
wow.
more
How
college
many
football
teams were playing?
championships
Like
than the
15?
Texas University.
They're
has.
basically the Red Sox.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
the Red
so
Sox
does
have
that
been
really
relevant
matter?
recently.
Yeah, but it took them 80 plus years. All right, so maybe A&M's title. Is
I
coming soon.
thought you guys.
Texas A&M is like the Chicago Cubs. How about that?
There you go.
No, the Cubs won a championship.
Cubs
Yeah,
fans
that is
aren't gonna
true
let-
also,
Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly. Graham, I thought you said last time to us that you don't care about history. Like, you want stuff that's relevant now.
But wait,
You are talking
if
about
you want
championships
something that's
from 100
relevant
years
now,
ago.
why are you an A&M fan?
Look,
Exactly.
Yeah, you want my backstory?
Like,
I'm
pick
gonna
a
give you my
side.
backstory.
No, we don't care.
No, we don't. We want to get back to these other games.
We're,
Oh,
we're,
yeah,
cut, we're cutting all this
all
out.
day.
Just
Can we
go.
get back to that.
Let's get on Oklahoma all day. Let's go.
No, we're not. Oklahoma. What do we think of
Oh, my
Spencer
God.
Rattler?
Let me
Let's all
start.
go around.
Spencer Rattler is ugly. His hair is ugly, and his performance is ugly. And I don't buy a single thing from him. He is way overly cocky. They anointed him as one of the next top tier quarterbacks, and I just don't believe it. I think that his cockiness and his ability doesn't match up, and I really don't ever see him becoming one of the top tier quarterbacks in especially in college, not even in college football whatsoever. So
Yeah, and going off his hair,
Go ahead.
he
Go
looks
ahead.
like Mike Wazowski's girlfriend in Monsters Inc. that hair he had, Celia.
good God.
Yeah, he looks like Medusa. Like what?
I guess he's just hoping
tragic,
he
man.
turns
should just kept the throw.
defenders into stone.
And what is pro football
I
Focus
guess.
College doing with the 2020 Heisman Trophy race yesterday with Rattler included over Sam Ellinger?
Yeah, that's ass.
This
Yeah, that doesn't
bullshit.
make sense.
Like
Yeah,
even
even the Aggie admits it.
exactly.
Rattler only gets hyped because he's on a
Exactly.
TV show, and he was a complete douchebag on the entire TV show. So
Well, also he gets the hype is because Oklahoma.
yeah,
I mean, Oklahoma
Yes,
has
absolutely.
and it's like Oklahoma is very much like the Cowboys. They are hyped up by their fans way too much.
So is Texas A&M.
And that's loyalty. Difference between saying every year's our year and it never being your year.
Yeah, but adding a little layer to that, I would say because they've had the Heisman winners for
Well,
some reason, like ESPN and all these people think like, oh, the next guy is
Yeah.
automatically a Heisman winner.
Also, it's easy to
Like,
be
what's-
a Heisman winner when you don't have to play against a defense for 12 straight games.
and it's also easier to be a Heisman winner when you have that offensive coordinator in there and not the one you have right now.
That's true.
Yeah, and like Lincoln Riley
Yeah.
makes these guys better
Yeah.
than they actually are.
It's-
I feel like.
last year we can go back
But-
to what's his name? The kid for the Cardinals quarterback
Oh,
now.
Kyler was
Kyler
a
Murray.
lightning show, dude.
Kyler Murray.
So
Wow, we both forgotten
here's
his
the
name
thing.
this
Kyler
episode.
Murray was great at Oklahoma, but when he played against a real defense when he was at A&M against Alabama, he threw 6 pick sixes. 6 pick sixes in one game. That's one game against Alabama. He threw 6 interceptions that all got ran back for a touchdown. Now, elite quarterback, question it. That's why
No. I
A&M
absolutely agree that he is
Wait.
elite in the NFL.
A&M's team, if you
Are-
didn't know
are you-
this, A&M's
Are you
team,
talking about when he was with A&M?
yeah, A&M's team.
So
packed his
you're
bags
roasting a guy
for him.
when he was a freshman versus when he was a senior.
Yeah, but
That's
Yeah.
a stretch. Yeah.
That's a huge
But
leap
still-
to make. Yeah.
I
That's
don't
a weak
believe the hype.
argument.
I don't believe the hype on him. I never had.
Let me kind of refine your argument a little bit. I think it's more goes to the system. I think these air raid offenses, they make college QBs look a lot better than they actually are. Now, Kyler Murray, I think he's going to be a pretty good NFL player, but he was not as good as everyone thought.
Yeah.
A lot of it was the
Agreed.
system in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But getting back to Spencer Rattler, just a few things I've noticed, especially that last pick. A lot of these throws are not as accurate as everyone was making them out to be. Like that last throw, he threw it behind, like way behind, overthrew that shit. Like, and I'm seeing it. Like, I'm seeing the freshman jitters where he's throwing off his back foot. He's forcing balls he doesn't need to do. It's just like we shouldn't be expecting this guy to be a Heisman winner. Like, these are his first 2 games. Can we pump the brakes?
I'm not doubting.
It's so annoying.
I'm not doubting.
I'm so tired of this overhyping.
In the first 2 weeks, they'll call Heisman winners, and then they'll start calling who's going to make it to the NCAA playoffs. You can't do that. You can't start looking at that stuff
bullshit.
until at least week 3, 4, maybe, and that's even pushing it.
See,
You know what they should do is no rankings for the first 4 weeks, no Heisman, none of this stuff. Teams just play, and then after that they have the rankings, because that should be awesome, because now we get to reveal who's actually the top 25, who are the best
They
guys.
wouldn't have anything to
Then we
talk
have the
about though if they didn't.
That's true.
Well, fine. So, how about talk about some smaller schools?
Yeah, because that's not entertaining.
How
That
about
doesn't bring in views. But no, I do agree. I do agree, Spencer Rattler. Like, I think the talent is there overall, but I think the man, you've seen it. You've seen it off the TV show. He's cocky as no other, and I think he really needs a lot of humbling to be able to develop into the QB that the talent represents. There's been a lot of players like that, though. There's been tons of them. I mean, Jamarcus Russell is a great example of that. And so,
yes, thank you. That's a great comparison. How many times are we going to see these QBs in these videos doing like insane passes and stuff when nobody guarding them, and then they end up being busts?
Exactly.
How often is that shit going to happen?
Exactly. And it's all about scheme. I mean, the scheme puts these players out in front. The scheme put Jamarcus Russell out in front. Nobody knew that he was a fat, lazy sack of crap, and even though he could throw a ball freaking 80 yards down the field, he couldn't hit a person running a slant route down, like 5 yards in front of him. So.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Spencer Rattler, like he's gonna have to take this performance. He's gonna have to learn from it. Hopefully, you talked about his ego. Hopefully, he doesn't have that ego where he's like, "Oh no, I'm shit. I don't hope it did anything."
Hope it did.
Yeah. Hopefully, it did, because it would be great if he's actually a pretty good player, because then next week we have a good game between him and Sam Ehlinger. But if he's really not that good and Texas ends up beating Oklahoma by a lot,
if Oklahoma can't get their turnovers,
next thing you know, the Big 12 is wide open.
Fixed, Texas will march right through Oklahoma's ass. It will be an easy game for Texas if Oklahoma can't get their turnovers fixed.
I think Texas got to fix a lot on their defense.
All the Big 12 has to fix their defense.
Oh, absolutely.
Also true.
There is a difference, though, I will say, about Texas. If we want to talk about this game for a little bit, we don't have to. But they've changed some things on their offense. They are scoring very quickly. Again, another team that's adjusting to doing like this air raid offense. So they may give up a lot of points, but it's probably because they're giving up a lot more possessions and they're scoring so rapidly. So their defense is on the field a lot. Yeah. And they're going in and out.
That's the difference between the Big 12 and other conferences, is most of the teams in the conference run the air raid, and there are some horrible defenses in it, but all the defenses are out on the field a lot more, running more, or not a lot more, but running more plays.
Honestly,
they would in the Big 10.
Honestly, I think we're seeing a lot in the NCAA, like we're seeing in the NFL, to where you didn't have enough preparation, and I think defenses are looking really, really suspect right now, like they are in the NFL so far. And it's just not preparation.
Yeah, I can speak on that. Being the son of a defensive coordinator, it doesn't matter how much you prepare these guys. At the end of the day, when you're they complete a quick hitch, all of a sudden they're already on the ball and they're throwing again. And then before you know it, they're already scoring. And then next thing you know, your team scores and they're back up. It's so hard to adjust in the middle of games. And it's so hard going from that tempo and practice the games for defensive players. And then you got to remember too, is defenses, a lot of these practices, they're kind of at the mercy of the offenses that they're playing. So if the offenses they have for practices, they don't have the same tempo, they don't have the same skill players, they don't have all these different things, then they're not going to be prepared for the game. And that's just kind of the case. Defensives are just underprepared regardless, just because offenses set the tone. And they control the pace. They do all these different things. Right. And defenses always got to adjust. So no matter what, defenses are going to not be prepared going into games. So it's like, it's hard to just blame scheme because there's not much you can do. Like, how do you stop something that's just so rapid and so good? You can't. Yeah. But, besides that, is there any other games you
not really. You want to move on to picks
from last week?
Wait, I'd like to talk about
let's move
very quickly.
Okay, go for it.
Go ahead.
I thought they played better. I thought they were a little bit better than Iowa State in the game, but they started their backup quarterback because their primary quarterback, Max Duggan, had missed a couple weeks of practice with an injury. I forgot. I think it was some weird condition. But he'd been back the last few weeks of practice, and he came in and played really well. Almost led them to the win, but I tweeted it in the first half about drops, and he threw a ball to a receiver, bounced right off his hands, and it was intercepted.
Sounds like Rager.
Yeah.
That happened to Vanderbilt's quarterback against A&M last week too.
Drops are like the most frustrating thing in football.
I'm a Cowboys fan. I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cowboys and TCU both have that in common.
Especially when Des Bryant played for them.
Or especially when Ezekiel Elliott drops 5 passes in one game, and literally all 5 of them were within 7 yards. Yeah. Great.
Sheesh.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, no boy, no.
All right. Our rant time's
No, you're good.
So
we'll get to picks in a second. I just want to say one last thing. Auburn, they beat Kentucky and probably should have lost that game, honestly. Mm-hmm. Kentucky definitely scored that touchdown. I don't know what the hell happened with that.
That was ridiculous.
A game would have completely changed. That was ridiculous. One of the worst calls I've ever seen. But this Auburn-Georgia game we're going to talk about in a second, it would be a lot different if Auburn actually lost last week. Our picks would probably be completely different. But we'll get to that in a second. The first game we're going to start with pick'ems is TCU at Texas. Texas is 2-0. TCU is 0-1 after losing to Iowa State last week. Texas is favored by 13 in this game. This is 11 o'clock game on Fox. Over under is 63, so this should be a shootout. I think that's what everyone's thinking. Let's start with our guests on this. Graeme, what do you think in this game? Who do you think's gonna win this game? And then tell me over under what you got on that.
As a logical person, you would want to say Texas, but with my upbringing, and not to get disowned by my family, I can't say Texas can win this game. TCU, I will hope that they can make this upset. I think they have the ability to. I don't think it's completely lost on them to lose this game. There is a chance for it. Looks like over-under on this game is 63. I'm going to go over just because of how Texas's offense plays. And Texas' offense is very fast and quick, and they're quick to score touchdowns. So I expect them to put up some good numbers. If TCU's quarterback comes out balling like he's capable of, I very much could see them putting up some good numbers. I do expect TCU to win by more than 12. Texas to win by more than 12, but TCU definitely has a chance here. And I think if they come out to play, it's a good chance. But Texas home field advantage, hard to beat.
Yeah. So the other one in our group is probably picking TCU. What are you thinking, Cody?
I'm going to pick Texas, but I think TCU covers. I'm going to go with the over. I think it's going to be a tough game for Texas. I think they have more offensive firepower, so they'll be able to pull out the win. I don't really think home field advantage is going to do that much. Gary Patterson always likes to play on, prefers playing on the road over at home. And with COVID, the stadium's going to be at like half capacity or less.
Texas already plays half capacity.
25%.
No,
definitely not.
Not last
it's definitely not true. Yeah, I know. You're
talking about the basketball team.
I was
definitely not. It's pretty. Basketball team, absolutely. Shaka and them. Oh no, nobody wants to freaking watch that game. There's a reason why Matthew McConaughey's in there trying to make a new stadium. Well, hopefully they get a new coach for that stadium.
Texas,
but we'll talk
about
that
like
when we get to college basketball. The basketball arena. Yeah, it looks like the Raiders' new stadium too, which also looks like a Rolo.
Let's move on.
Yeah. I got Texas in this game. I think they're the spread. I got them going. They're covering the spread, 14 points. They're going to win by, I think. And I got that over in this game. I think Texas's offense is really good. I don't know what happened, but we all of a sudden just have wide receivers out the gazoo, whatever the phrase is. And they can, whatever the phrase is.
Hey, Wazoo. I like Gazoo.
Gazoo. I was like, that doesn't sound right. They have so many different ways to get these guys involved. They'll be mixing it up, and they're going to be scoring points like crazy. Texas is going to win.
So
this
the
game.
reason I
think
TC covers this spread is because this is their national championship. All their players get overlooked by Texas, so they play it personally. That's why TCU's 6-2 against Texas since joining the Big 12.
That's a fair point. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I think when most Big 12 teams play Texas or Oklahoma, they do it with a chip on their shoulder. You know, that's their national championship game when they play those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Texas is back. Well, the offense, not the defense. But you got Texas, and I really do think that they covered the spread, and I really don't think it's that close of a game. I know y'all think it's a close game, but it's not a close game to me. And I think Texas honestly kind of blows them out of the water. So,
okay, we'll see. Hopefully, so I can just rub in Cody's face.
I picked Texas. Anyways. I don't care. My team's 0-1. I really don't care.
It does.
Hey, you never know. Big 12 seems a little open this year. Y'all might bounce back. Who knows? Y'all might finish second. Like Oklahoma was playing like trash. You never know.
Oklahoma
Everything's
will have
open this year. Anyways.
When TCU plays them.
That's true.
Yeah, that's probably true. But moving on to another Big 12 game, we got Baylor at West Virginia. Baylor's 1-0. West Virginia lost last week to Oklahoma State, so they're 1-1. Yeah, another pick I missed. Don't even bother looking at my record for college football pick'ems for at least the next couple of weeks.
Look at Tyler's NFL record.
I want to remind y'all I'm 13-2 in NFL, so I'm not totally garbage. Cody's leading at 10-5. Q is 8-7.
That's right.
I'm at
69. Tyler.
Very nice. A great number. See, that was my intention. I was like, I'm trying to get to that, and now I'll start winning. You know, hopefully. But getting back to this game, Baylor, West Virginia, another 11 o'clock game. It's gonna be on ABC. Baylor's favored by 3. Over/under's 53.5. I got Baylor in this game. They're a lot better than what everyone thinks. I know they had to replace a lot of people from last year, but they still are led by the quarterback that led them to the Big 12 championship last year. They're still a very solid team. And I think Dave Aranda is a very good coach, and he's going to get them going. I think Baylor's a dark horse right now. That's my guess. But I got them winning this game, and they're going to cover the spread.
I'm going to go Baylor with this one as well.
What do you think?
I think Baylor's, like you said, is the team that they were last year, which was dominant on the football field. I think last year they really shocked a lot of people. And I think this year they got to keep that momentum to kind of show people that this is what they're made of. You know what I mean? So Baylor looks like they barely got this game to win, but I think they get this by probably a couple touchdowns. I think they got this.
I'm going
Cody?
to go Baylor too, and I'm also going to make the comment I made on Twitter last week. It's a crime that Baylor, who won 11 games last year and has their starting quarterback returning, isn't ranked. They should be ranked. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
like,
That's
it's
what I'm
ridiculous.
saying.
They're not ranked. They won 11 games last year. LSU lost all but like 2 starters, and they're ranked number 6.
It's like
stupid.
UCF. UCF gets top ranked every year, but are they really that relevant? Baylor's relevant.
Well, UCF
No, they're not.
wins the games though, but they don't play anyone. But
Yeah. But yeah.
But I'm gonna have.
Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna take the over for it. I think Baylor wins by like 10 to 14 points.
Okay.
So I think Baylor
Bring us home
wins
for this one.
handedly. Not only that, handedly. Thank you. Your $20 word for the day. But
Give me 20
no, you don't
bucks.
deserve $20. Anyways, no,
Wow.
I think Baylor wins handedly,
Cheap.
and honestly, I'm gonna make Quentin's very bold point of the day that I don't think Matt Rule was that amazing of a coach. I think that Baylor just had a lot of talent.
Ooh, interesting.
That was
I think it's
I actually agree
that's
with.
part of that's
Yeah, Matt Rule didn't
Exactly.
recruit those guys. Those guys
Some of
that those guys that
He recruited
graduated
some of them.
didn't recruit the draft picks.
That's true. Yeah, that's a fair point. I think we're not really gonna tell the difference though, because
Baylor
the
is
coach that they got,
quietly
is
a
also really
very
good.
very like quality team in college football,
No.
and they get a lot of crap because of their history and their past. And I'm not going to go into all that. At risk of being canceled, but no, they're quietly a very quality college football team, and I really do think they have a ton of talent. And I honestly kind of believe in this team, and they should be ranked. So
Yeah. Well, something I'm just now reading is if Baylor wins in West Virginia, it'll be their first time to win in West Virginia. Yep. Baylor has not defeated West Virginia at home.
Oh. Does anybody want to change their pick after?
Yeah,
hearing
I'm
that?
solid.
No? Okay. Yeah. I think we all think
Heck
Baylor's
with
gonna win this
Western
game, so
Virginia.
we'll move on. Yeah.
all right, Graham.
We got
All right,
Bama
Graham. Here it
against
is.
A&M.
Here it is,
The
Graham.
Number
reason
13 A&M. Bama number 2. Graham, I'm just going to toss it to you. I will say Bama's favored by 16.5.
Yes.
Over under
Bama
51.5.
is
Graham, take it away.
probably going to beat us. I will still take
Probably.
A&M as my team. The probability looked very similar to this in 2012. The difference is our quarterback, though. Kellen Mond is probably the worst quarterback to come through Texas A&M. I don't understand why Jimbo Fisher, being the quarterback guy he is and being able to develop the quarterbacks he has, why he has so much faith in Mond. Last week, for instance, 3 fumbles. His ability to read a defense and react to it is poor, to say the least. And he doesn't capitalize on big plays. We got down at one point to their 15, and he fumbled the ball, and we ended up having to kick a field goal on their 15-yard line. And that's just unacceptable. If you want to play SEC football and compete against these big teams, then you have to capitalize on big plays, and you have to score when you're in the red zone.
Vanderbilt.
But A&M lacks the capability of doing so. Jimbo Fisher even said, we made plays when we had to, but too much inconsistency, and I completely agree with that. Mond was 17 for 28 with 189 yards and a TD, but I mean, he really relied on the carries of Spiller and Smith, who are absolutely physical running backs and have the capability to get those breakaways and, get down the field. I think Spiller had a rush for 57 yards that set him up for that touchdown throw to Chapman to put us in the lead. And I think that if A&M can fix some certain things on defense to stop teams to stop Alabama from scoring, Alabama relied a lot last week on big plays. They had multiple throws to Waddle, I think is his last name. Waddle that blew open the field for them, that were just massive catches. And if A&M can shut that down, I think they have a huge opportunity here to kind of make this game a lot closer than people think it is. A&M safety, Leon O'Neal Jr., is a baller. The dude will be probably a top-tier NFL free safety once he gets there. An interception on the day, multiple breakup passes. He got in there and mixed it in with the quarterback. The kid's a physical player and likes to hit people. So hopefully, if he can keep up the pace and get these big plays to stop Alabama from those deep balls, we have an opportunity to shorten this spread a little bit. A&M has a tough time defending people as well. Our deep, I think we allowed 255 yards against Vanderbilt. Should not have happened. But if we can stop the air throw that Bama has, that's what carried them through that game. They had 303 passing yards and only 111 rushing yards. So if we can shut down the pass game, I think we have an opportunity here. But these are going to be very, very specific things that A&M's going to have to do to have a chance here. Will they pull this off? Man, I hope so. Most likely not, though.
Well,
yeah, I don't think so.
Graeme,
I think Bama's going to run through them.
We'll spin bet. I'll take A&M. Come on.
No, because I'll never bet against my team. I can't do it.
No. You take A&M. I'll take Bama. Let's go.
No, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't bet against my team because I'm not going to bet something that I know I'm going to lose it. That's just poor betting.
What if you spot him 7 points?
I'll spot you 7 points.
Over and under is 17.
So even if A&M loses
10.
by 7.
Spot me 10.
Spot him 10? I'll spot you 10. Let's go.
Spot him 10.
If A&M loses by 10 points, I will still spin the wheel. If they lose by more, if they lose by more than 10 points
or less,
then you spin the wheel. Deal.
So 10
all right, we got our first wheel spin of the year, guys. Let's go.
Deal. I also.
I can't wait for Q to lose.
Now.
I also want to point out that 52 total points scored in the game. Maybe not. I think that there's with the way that these teams have played in the past, excluding a couple of years, these teams are very physical when they play each other. I think there's an opportunity that's a lot lower. So I think if we're going over under, I'm going under on that.
Okay. Interesting. I got Bama in this game. Like I said, I'm going. After what you said, I kind of agree. I'm going over this game. Cody and Q.
Roll that tide.
What do you got?
First wheel spin, guys. Let's go.
Roll Tide. Anyways, next game. Exciting. If y'all are listening to this, you can DM us punishment ideas at any time, and those could possibly be used in this first wheel spin. So that'd be pretty exciting. If not, we'll just come up with our own, which will make you or Graeme pretty scared to lose.
It's going to be recorded.
What?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. It has to be. Anyways, moving on. Number 25, Memphis takes on SMU, who is 3-0, but for some reason not ranked. They had a good
year last year.
It's kind of bullshit, too. Yeah. I don't... Rankings...
Is SMU still getting punished for paying players and getting the death penalty?
I guess so.
I just think they're getting punished because they're just straight up SMU.
That was a long time
It doesn't matter what they're like, what they did in the past. I just think it's like
SMU won.
Yeah. I think it's just because
they won 10 games last year, but they did get blown out in their bowl game against Florida Atlantic.
So
I like Bouchel.
Still got Shane.
Yeah.
Still got Booch.
His
dad was a Rangers pitcher.
I do too. That's part of the reason why.
Yeah.
hmm
He's 6-4.
A lot of athleticism in that family.
Yeah.
Not a great Texas QB, but no. But anyways, this game 2:30 ESPN2. Memphis is favored by 3. I don't know why.
Oh my god.
Over under. Hear this. 74.5. Sheesh.
Does anybody do math? Like, what
part of
is
me
that
just wants
per
to take the
team?
over and make this even more fun. 74. So that's
Holy
is
shit.
it 37
Yeah.
per team.
Holy crap
Am I
balls.
right? Golly. I can see the over. That makes sense. I got SMU. I think Booch has been good in the 3 games he's played. Memphis was a little shaky against Arkansas State, and I don't know why they're ranked over SMU. That doesn't make sense to me. I think SMU is going to take that ranking from them this week, and Booch is going to win. I got them winning by a touchdown, and I got the
agree.
over in this game.
And you know
Q,
what?
who do you got?
We're going to be bold brothers right here, all right? Because I got the over too.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all aren't too
So you
bold
got SMU.
because I have the over.
Bold
And
brothers.
Yeah. You know, I,
Do you want to finish this off?
I think I'm going to go Memphis on this game instead of SMU.
Wait,
Yep.
was that the only pick that was different between all of
Wow.
us? Or
Yep.
You're dead to us. That's
no,
ridiculous.
I picked Georgia over Auburn though.
Yep. You had Memphis originally, Q, but you changed.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that will be
I'm going to
the
go
last game.
Memphis
We'll talk
over
about that in a
SMU. I
second.
did say SMU
Yeah.
first off, but I think I'm going to go Memphis here. Looking at some of these stats right now, if Memphis is playing like they played last week, they have the ability here to make this a game. And they have a 63% win percentage right now. I know this is sometimes flawed by ESPN, but a 63 win percentage is still a win percentage in their favor. So I am going to go Memphis here. I think they're under, though.
Under? Okay. Do you think
yeah,
they're
they'll
going to cover
cover
the
the
spread?
spread.
It was 3 points. Okay. Final game. First top 10 matchup of the year, I believe. Number 7, Auburn against number 4, Georgia, both 1-0. This is a 6:30 game on ESPN. Georgia's favored by 6.5. Over under. Last one was huge. This one's a little bit lower. 44.5 is over under.
Oh, gosh.
Let's start with Cody on
this. This is a tough
Who you
one
got,
for
Cody?
me. Georgia looked horrible in their first game of the season against the legendary Felipe Franks. Auburn looked pretty good, even though Kentucky got screwed out of that touchdown. But Auburn's offense kind of came to life there in the second half. So I think I'm going to go Auburn.
Okay. I kind of agree with you. I think Georgia was shaky. Auburn still should have lost that game, like you said, but they have the pieces offensively to be a solid team, and defensively they're not bad. Georgia, I was just like, I don't know what's going on with their QB situation. JT Daniels is supposed to be playing soon, but we still don't know. They started their backup last week. He was bad. They brought in a third stringer. He was pretty good. But you know what they always say.
Yep.
If you have multiple quarterbacks, it's like you don't really have a quarterback. So until they have this shit straightened out, I can't bet on Georgia right now.
I'm going Auburn as well. Georgia's
Graham,
performance
who you
last
picking in
week
this game?
was below par. It was awful. I mean, subpar. Sorry. It was subpar. It was awful. I mean, what I expected out of Georgia, kind of. In the beginning of most seasons, they do show up flat. They get it together later in the season, but I just don't believe in this team this year. I think Auburn's got them. I think I'm going to go over on this. And I think they cover the spread. I think they do a pretty good job, and they kind of put it to Georgia this week.
Okay, I just looked up JT Daniels and found out that he is playing on Saturday. Unclear. It says he's medically cleared to play against Auburn. Gus Malzahn said that he's in the mix to play on Saturday, but that's about it. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, mixes don't win top 10 games. Yeah.
So my thing is, I don't buy Bo
Q,
Nix.
take us home.
I don't know why I
but,
said Gus Malzahn. I'm sorry.
I don't buy him whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't buy him whatsoever. I didn't buy him last year. I don't buy him this year.
We know who
and
you're talking about.
Do not buy him for the future. I sat there and watched that whole Auburn game, and the guy is carried by screen passes and short passes, and it's just I don't buy him. I don't buy him to win a big game when it's all on his arm. And I don't really know what I take Georgia for yet, but I honestly just kind of think they win this game.
Yeah, I see your point. I'm still not big on Bo Nix. But I once again, I think Georgia's
to put it into perspective. This is an Auburn team that is kind of similar to what they had last year, right? It's not changed too much. Georgia is looking awful.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Georgia beat Auburn by 1 touchdown. It was 21-14, and that was late in the season. That was third game November 16th. It was last of the 3 games, and it was a close game. I think that Auburn is got the ability to beat them this year.
I mean, they still won 37-10. Georgia did. I mean, I know it was against Arkansas, and I know Arkansas is absolute trash, but
yeah,
it's not like
Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not like they played absolutely garbage and like let them almost beat them, but still. It's like that. I think Georgia. I think a lot of that was the beginning of the football season and not having their number 1 quarterback in.
That's fair.
Interesting. Yeah, but that's the end of our picks this week. We'll be posting the graphics and stuff if you didn't catch what we said or anything. And be on the lookout for polls for both NFL and college football that y'all can vote on all these games and stuff. It's going to be a fun week for NFL and college football.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
We're going to move on to NBA.
You too. Thanks, Graeme.
All right. We're going to talk some NBA. Pretty exciting news that happened this week. Obviously, we had the NBA Finals. We'll talk about that in a second. But we went from Doc Rivers' ass being grass to him being the head coach of the 76ers. Cody, just initial thoughts. First of all, let's talk about his firing. Do you think it was warranted? Do you think that was deserved?
I mean, it's kind of like it. I'm trying to find words to describe it because he hasn't really done anything with the Clippers, but they're a franchise that has never done anything, so it's kind of like a give and take thing. He's given them their most successful run in franchise history, but he's also had the best teams in franchise history and has done nothing with them. I think they're most disappointed about this year where they blew a 3-1 lead against the Nuggets and lost with pretty much at full health.
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on this. I don't like Doc Rivers, to be honest. I've always thought he complains a lot and he's never been as good of a coach as he's supposed to be for how much he talks. But I feel like in the end, this wasn't necessarily his fault, this playoff run. Obviously, there's some adjustments he could have made, but at the end of the day, when you got Pandemic P just throwing up brick after brick out there, like, I don't know. There's not much you can do. You know that, I'm not sure if you saw that meme. It's like Mark Phillips' meme. He was basically like impersonating Doc Rivers. He's like, yeah, I know I'm fired, but before I go, I'm going to tell all y'all that you're trash. And he was basically going line by line, calling people trash. But like, it really summed up well kind of situation. It wasn't necessarily his fault. But at the end of the day, it's like, you got to make changes. Someone had to fall on the blade. And it's not going to be Paul George. It's not going to be freaking Kawhi.
Yeah.
Could have been lemon pepper Lou, but that wouldn't have been enough. Someone had to fall on the sword. So at the end of the day, it had to happen.
Yeah, after that kind of disappointment, especially blowing a 3-1 lead like that, I think you have to do something where someone falls on the sword. Just just to kind of save face as an organization and not like make your fans just attack you or kind of get them off. True. The bandwagon Laker fans, or the Laker fans that hated LeBron before he went to LA and I guess jumped to the Clippers, if there's such thing.
It's something like that. The other thing that cracked me up in that little meme, the dude was talking about, we shouldn't even be in LA anymore. We need to go to Maine or something. Yeah. I don't know. All the LA fans are Lakers fans. Like, I don't know who supports the Clippers. So
Yeah,
maybe that would be the best option for them.
Yeah, for real.
They go like Las Vegas.
Yeah, LA's looking like it's going to become a major sports destination. So you could.
You mean LV?
Yeah, sorry. I keep saying LA every time I talk.
Yeah,
about
it's confusing with all the teams moving around and stuff. We'll have to get used to it. Talking about his him being acquired by 76ers. What are your initial impressions on that?
I don't think it's going to change anything for the 76ers. They don't have any real shooting on the team, so they're just going to be about the same. I don't know if he's going to be able to really help them that much.
Yeah, what I was thinking I think the two problems with the 76ers is their shooting. They shouldn't let JJ Redick go.
I agree.
And they definitely should have replaced him with someone. The other thing is, obviously, we've talked about a lot, is the toxicity of that team. I don't think Doc Rivers, like he showed with the Clippers, like he didn't really keep them in check and keep them working together as a unit. I don't think he's going to do that with the 76ers either. And did he really do that with the Celtics either? I don't think so. Like those guys, their ending with the Celtics was very bad. Like they all hate each other after that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, like, if out of all the coaches you could have chosen, I don't think this is the best decision.
I completely agree.
They really needed someone who is not really, I don't think, a big name. They need someone who's going to come in there and kind of change the culture a lot of ways. Not Charlie Strong, not
a Brad Stevens.
Not someone like that. Yeah, Brad Stevens, someone who's not a big name, but someone who's like a guru, like an offensive guru or something like that, who's going to get the right system in there. But he's not like Tyronn Lue or Doc Rivers or one of these guys that's just like, I don't think they're as good as a coach as everyone makes them out to be. And a lot of times it's just like, their success comes from the players they've had, not necessarily their coaching. I
think Doc Rivers is an extremely overrated coach. Like, he's probably a fringe top 10 coach in today's NBA. He's definitely not a top 5 coach.
Yeah, I don't think so. We could definitely talk about top 5. Obviously, like, we think of Greg Popovich. We think of I think of Nick Nurse.
Eric Spoelstra.
Exactly.
Rick Carlisle. Brad Stevens.
Yeah, totally.
There's 5.
Brad Stevens.
5 right there. He is not better than any of those 5.
Now, is he top 10? That's an interesting debate.
Yeah, top 10 is debatable. Top 5, I don't think is.
We talked about this before the show, but you kind of had a list pulled up, right, of kind of some of the rankings a little bit. Who are some of the people they had outside the top 5 and the top 10?
Okay, so this is going off of Guard Barker. Never heard of him. And this is entering the this current NBA season. Shockingly, they had some guys that I didn't really agree with. I think Billy Donovan at 22 is a little too low because of what he did with the Thunder. They had Frank Vogel at 16, Nick Nurse at 13.
Yeah, Nick Nurse should be top 5. Yeah. Like what he's been able to do with Toronto. I've always thought Toronto has the best GM and they have the best one of the best head coaches.
Yeah, I agree.
Because talent-wise, they do have a lot of good players, but they've been able to squeeze a lot more talent out of the guys they have, and they've been able to create a very cohesive team.
Yeah.
So props to them for that. Yeah.
So this list has Brad Stevens at 7, Steve Kerr at 6, Steve Kerr's. I don't think he's that great of a head coach.
Well, yeah, what's his name before? Mark Jackson. He basically did the same thing, and then he got canned. And then Steve Kerr came in and just kind of like, Mark Jackson did all the work. Steve Kerr was awarded for it, basically.
Oh, yeah, it's just like the Phil Jackson with the Bulls and the guy that was there before him, and then Phil Jackson with the Lakers.
Although I would give more credit to Phil Jackson.
Yeah, I think Phil Jackson's a way better coach than Steve Kerr.
I'm just saying for this scenario, I think we all watched The Last Dance, but there's a lot more things he had to kind of get to work together. Like there was a lot of personalities that are going in and out. The Warriors didn't really change much from Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr, besides eventually adding Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and they fell apart when they added KD.
Yeah, obviously, but they all got hurt too, so there's that in there too. But who were some of the other coaches in the top 10?
They had Doc Rivers at 5, which are
hell no.
You'll say that even stronger with this one. Mike D'Antoni at 4.
Hell no.
Extreme yikes.
What has he done? Like he's never gotten to the finals, right?
Not with the Rockets. Maybe with another team. I don't know. He's been coaching for like 50 years.
I would love to see. I think the NBA has the worst problem with this. They love just to kind of tossing coaches around.
Yeah, they always recycle.
Yeah, I would love to see some new blood in there. Like bring in some college coaches. If they want to be the first league to have like a female head coach, I think that would be great. Honestly, Becky Hammonds. Everyone's talked about that.
Yeah.
And then, great college coaches. You can go international too. I think there's probably some good international coaches out there. They brought in David Blatt that one time. Obviously, that didn't work out. But I would love to see the NBA just kind of be a little bit more creative instead of just, let's pass around D'Antoni, let's pass around Doc Rivers. Let's always have rumors of Tyronn Lue, even though really LeBron was the head coach for that team. It was never really Tyronn Lue.
And Jason Kidd.
I like that Steve Nash is the new head coach for the Nets.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's good.
I think Steve Nash is worthy of being a head coach. He and Jason Kidd.
Absolutely.
He and Jason Kidd are two guys that you could definitely see being head coaches, even though Kidd didn't really work out, but he was with the bad organization.
And Kidd wasn't ready. I think it'd be great if they go the Tim Duncan route and not necessarily jump to head coach. So they kind of get some assistant coaching first.
Yeah.
And Tim Duncan's another name that could be a head coach as well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious if LeBron will eventually become a head coach or something in the future.
Yeah, I'm curious we're not far off, which is crazy to think. We're not far off from him eventually being done. I'm curious what he's going to do after his career's over.
Yeah.
It's a weird thought.
Like he could do anything from being a GM, owning a team, being the head coach. There's a lot of options for him.
Yeah, and then he's acting and doing all these other things. I could see him doing a lot, maybe having his own show or something, or getting into something like that. He has the talent for that too.
Yeah.
Sort of, at least for an NBA player. Why don't we talk about LeBron and kind of what's been going on? Obviously, the NBA Finals is going on. Not many people are paying attention. The ratings were down, I think, 50% in Game 1.
Yep.
Whew, not good. Not good at all.
Well, nobody wants to watch a team get demolished, shockingly.
Yeah, when you have even the pundits that criticize LeBron and the Lakers all saying the Lakers are going to sweep, it's just kind of like, okay, I don't think anybody wants to check this out.
Yeah, even Paul Pierce.
Yeah, that's when you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Game 1 was not good. He jumped out to an early lead. I was like, okay. I think I tweeted out there that small ball was starting to work, but then Lakers they adjusted quickly, and then next thing you know, they're overpowering all night. And then he had a few injuries, and then a few injuries are carrying over to Game 2. Bam's going to be out probably, and then Goran Dragic is going to be out probably too. So it's kind of already a wrap.
Yeah. It's going to be a 2-0 deficit, and then probably
I think
downhill.
the bubble it really started out hot and it cooled out quickly.
The first round's honestly been better. Aside from that Nugget series, the first round's honestly been better than any other round.
Yeah, and even the wild card stuff was fun. It's just once you got Clippers and all these teams just blowing leads to teams that shouldn't be winning, it just kind of ruined it.
Yeah,
and I don't think Heat made to the finals and a very talented team. I don't think they're like a year early. Like they shouldn't have been here. It shouldn't have happened. Bucks messed up. Toronto messed up. Celtics messed up. Like it shouldn't have happened for them.
Yeah, it's good experience for them though.
Yeah, it is. I wonder it's going to be like the Thunder that one year though, where they basically got swept by I think it was the Heat that year. Yeah. And then they never returned.
I don't know because I don't even think the Heat are as good as that Thunder team. Isn't their second best player Dragic?
It really depends. I think the one thing that makes Heat better, or not better, but a little bit more diverse than the Thunder of that year is they have so many different weapons. I guess number one would be Jimmy Butler, right? You'd say?
Oh yeah, yeah, Jimmy Butler.
I wouldn't say Tyler Hero yet because he's not consistent.
Probably Bam.
Yeah, I think Bam or Goran. That sounds about right. I think Tyler Hero was like minus 30 in game one.
Oof.
Yeah, he's not quite there yet. Defensively, he's got a lot to improve with. Turnovers, a lot of things you expect from a young guy.
They probably had a lot of guys that were in the negative for game one, though.
Yeah, but minus 30, I think that's like an all-time record or something for the finals.
Ouch.
Ouch. Tough for that kid. But yeah, I think, get the broomsticks ready. It's going to be sweep.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I wanted to ask you, just kind of the meaning of this championship. First of all, like, do you think this means more or less winning this COVID Cup for the Lakers?
I think LeBron's going to try to play it off as it meaning more. I think to them it's going to mean a lot because they've been away from their families for so long. They've been there for 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to mean more to the players, but the people I don't think they care as much as they would if it was regular circumstances.
I think so. And I think just winning it, I think it's emotionally, it's going to be a lot different from the guys. It's not going to be like, holy shit, we just won the finals. It's going to more be like a relief. Like, hey, like you said, like we can go home now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they can't even celebrate, which like, I don't know how much celebrating they're going to want to do.
Yeah, for the celebration, you probably just want to look at the Tampa Bay Lightning. They just won the Stanley Cup. Shout out to the Stars for making it that far. But
yeah,
Tampa
sucks for them.
I didn't really watch Tampa Bay celebration, but they still celebrate.
Yeah, or you can look at Liverpool winning the Premier League. They're literally celebrating out on like a little patio, just watching the results, and then they just had the interviews, and that was it. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And for them, it was like, I think they hadn't won a title in like 30 years. Lakers, this is huge, but it's just, with everything happening with Kobe and they haven't won a title in many years. And it's just like, it's such a big letdown. It feels like
you act like it's a long time to go between winning a title when you have teams that have never won one. And the Lakers.
Yeah, that's true. But obviously, Lakers have a different culture.
Yeah, it's been 10 years for the Lakers.
Yeah. It's just, it sucks for those guys. I think a lot of the NBA players are after this experience going to be like, I wish we didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it wore us out. They're probably to their wits' ends and just for basically nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
Sucks. I wish if they didn't lose money, like if I was the NBA, I'd be like, hey, thank you. We appreciate y'all for doing this. Here's a little bonus. But like, obviously they don't have money.
Oh, I'll give you a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
For real.
Last question though, before we wrap up NBA. Obviously we got to talk about LeBron's legacy. Do we look at this kind of like it's like his 3.5 championship win?
No, I think it's a full championship.
You think it's a full
Yeah,
championship?
because no huge name players were really opting out, and the only thing that was really between him was the Clippers, and they choked.
Yeah, I'm sure you can look at Jordan's 6 titles, and there's probably one where it's just it was kind of easier route for them, and all the pundits were saying it was the easy route for them.
Yeah,
but I have a feeling still ESPN and all those people are just they're gonna act like it's not that big of a deal. Twitter's definitely gonna act like it's not that big of a deal. I think it's still a good accomplishment.
yeah,
But LeBron's gonna have to do more. He's gonna have to. I think possibly in the past he could have won 5, and you could really compare him head to head with Jordan. But I think he's got to get 6 now.
yeah, for real. Because this is kind of. I consider it a full championship, but it's still going to have a little asterisk next to it, just because of the mental toll that it's having on these players, because they're not being able to be home, sleeping in their own beds, no home court advantage and stuff like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just we as fans do not actually know what they're going through, know how hard it is. And we kind of take it for granted, and we're just oh, it's not that bad. You're in Disney World, you're in hotels, you're getting paid millions of dollars, but it was probably very hard on these guys.
Yeah, because they can't see your family. A trip to Disney World would probably drive even me crazy if it lasted for 3 months, and instead of
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Instead of a week.
I don't know, Cody. You kind of have a Disney addiction.
Nah, you think?
I don't know about that. No, I think so.
Huh.
But yeah,
Interesting.
it's gonna be weird though once this is over. Just kind of what's next for NBA. They got the draft coming and all that, but it's gonna be dark for a while.
Yeah,
You're just gonna be whoa, the NBA had the finals a couple weeks ago. Oh wow, I already forgot about it.
And they really don't even know when their season's going to start.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainty. And we'll be keeping everyone updated about that for sure. But once the finals are done in probably a week or 2? Probably a week?
Yeah, probably a week the way it's going.
It'll probably just be short updates from us about NBA. Any head coaching changes, team changes, nothing too big, obviously. We'll talk about the draft eventually, but that's about it for NBA. And yeah, that's it for what we're going to talk about for NBA today. We're going to move on to the next sport.
All right, jumping over to baseball. There's quite a bit going on. The Rangers secured the number 2 pick in the draft. And right now the MLB playoffs are going on. Some teams have already clinched the wild card victory, mostly winning 2-0. Some are still going on. Quite a few disappointments, right, Quentin?
Yeah. Let's start with the Twins losing the last 18 straight playoff games that they featured in. They might be the most disappointing playoff team in MLB history at this point, with how many games they've lost in a row in a do or die situation.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal to win lose 18 straight games. It's almost unheard of for just about any sport, let alone playoffs when your team's actually good.
Yeah, I mean, I know they didn't have Donaldson for the series because he was hurt, but I mean, man, when Nelson Cruz and Alex Kilroff, however you pronounce his name, and Marvin Gonzalez are the only 3 hits you get in the entire game, you deserve to lose the game.
Yeah.
And I am one very, very, very spare ever to talk good about the Astros, but they showed up in the series enough to beat the Twins, and whatever, it's not very impressive, but because the Twins blow everything, but so be it. And good job, Astros. They're going on to the second round.
Yeah. Good on them. And it'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Astros do going forward. Good for the Rays, good for the Yankees. Oakland beat the White Sox. White Sox were a good-looking team this year. And
So my thing is the White Sox and the Blue Jays. Yes, they both made the playoffs this year, and yes, it was an extended playoff series. And but both of them have extremely young and talented teams, and they're going to be back. They're going to be back either next year or the next year, and maybe the next year after that. They're going to be these teams that are going to be at the forefront of the next 10 years of MLB playoffs. And so it's going to be exciting to watch. It really is. There is so much talent on these teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Blue Jays might have a little bit more than the White Sox, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of young, talented teams in the playoffs because you have the Braves, the Reds, Padres. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the young core of Biggio, and Guerrero Jr. on the Blue Jays is really honestly at this point a bit more powerful than what the White Sox have to offer. But the White Sox, man, they got Jose Abreu, they got Eloy Jimenez, who's going to be a stud, Moncada, who's a pretty good player, and Luis Robert. And I think Luis Robert is honestly a candidate to become one of the top tier baseball players in the future. And it's awesome. It's awesome to watch these young kids, and it's awesome to see them get a little bit of playoff exposure. And honestly, that's something that Mike Trout never even got as a young stud, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's pretty crazy to see some of these young guys who have a lot of potential have a chance to actually develop into something that could be premier. But yeah, we got a little bit going on, and actually shout out to Tyler about the Marlins, because when none of us believed the Marlins, Tyler believed the Marlins. 17 COVID cases in all. Tyler believed them every second along the way.
Oh yeah, about as much as we believe in him for baseball input.
Yeah, and somehow, some way, the Marlins are up 1-0 on the Cubs right now in the playoffs. And surprising stat, the Marlins have never lost a playoff series in their entire existence. They made the playoffs twice in their existence, and they won the World Series twice. Last one was, I believe, 2003 with
Miguel Cabrera.
With a young Miguel Cabrera, sorry.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
If y'all haven't seen the picture of Miguel Cabrera then and now, you need to go look it up. It's wild. It's crazy to see how much he's changed over the years.
Yeah, I don't think anybody predicted between the last Marlins playoff win and the most recent one that Miguel Cabrera would have over 2,700 hits and over 400 home runs.
Yeah, for real.
But here we are.
Yeah, and if the Marlins win the World Series, well, the numbers are in their favor. They've never lost a playoff series, so the numbers say that they're going to win the World Series this year.
If the Marlins win the World Series, I don't even know.
You're going to spin the wheel.
If the Marlins win the World Series, I will announce that. I've already announced one wheel spin tonight, but if the Marlins win the World Series, I'll announce another one. I'll do a wheel spin for the Marlins if they win the World Series. Because they're going to have to go to the Dodgers. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Speaking of the Dodgers, they're up 1-0 in the series right now. As of this recording, they're up 3-0 on the Brewers in the top of the 8th. So it looks like they're going to advance. And then the Padres and Cardinals have their series tied at 1 apiece. So Dodgers and Padres could be a really good NLDS if it happens.
I think that's the NLDS everybody's rooting for.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everybody wants to see Tatis go up against the absolutely star-studded to the brim Dodgers lineup and rotation, literally everything. I mean, honestly, the Dodgers are the dream team right now. Literally, if you could put a dream team on the field, it's the Dodgers right now. And honestly, I don't see anybody else winning all this besides the Dodgers. If they don't, this will be the biggest disappointment in possibly baseball history. Honestly, like I don't see a bigger disappointment than this, because you don't spend all this money. You don't go out and you don't get Mookie you don't do all these things and try to put this team together like this and not succeed.
The only team I think that had a chance to beat the Dodgers if they were at full strength would be the Braves, but they have so many injuries that I don't think it's possible for them.
Yeah, the Braves are a solid team, and man, what a freaking show that was, going 13 innings. What a freaking pitching show between Fried and Bauer.
Yeah.
But man, and you know, whatever. I mean, this is gonna basically lead to Bauer's free agency, because I think the Braves are gonna win the series because the Reds have no bats whatsoever.
The Braves already won the series.
Yeah. Oh, the Braves won the series. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, me misinformed. but no, it's Bauer's free agency time, and I think Bauer is the arm that can turn the entire team around somewhere. And like that's somebody, and I honestly think he either goes to the AL East, or man, he either goes to the AL East or he goes to NL Central, NL West.
Yeah, I was thinking AL East or NL West, but NL Central I can see too. Him staying in Cincinnati or maybe Milwaukee. That'd be an interesting fit for him.
Yeah, honestly, I can see him on the Braves too, though. And
yeah,
I think what Freddie Freeman came out and said about him and was like very, very respectful about him, and I really think they're going to be on the hunt for Bauer this year.
Yeah, one of my buddies, Edgar, he was on the show a couple weeks ago. He was saying that I've talked to him back and forth for a while, and every year during free agency, he talks about how the Braves need pitching, or during as the trade deadline approaches that they need pitching. And I'm always picking his brain to see, like what it would cost or what the Braves would be willing to give up for like a Rangers pitcher and stuff.
Yeah, I got you. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's just playoffs full swing. Go catch some playoff baseball.
Who do you have in the World Series?
That's what I was about to ask you.
Gotcha.
I have A's and Dodgers, and I think Dodgers take it all.
I have Dodgers for sure, and then I'm going to go with. I'm going to say the winner of the New York Tampa Bay series.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you think? So what do you think is going to happen out of this A's series? A's Astros.
I don't know. Do you know how many games the ALDS are? I forgot. My mind. Is it 5 still, or did they adjust it? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's 5. Because because they extended the playoff series to 16 games, or I mean 16 teams total, and then it was supposed to be a 3-game wild card series, so the ALDS stayed the same.
Gotcha. I think the A's win in like I'll say 5. They win in 5. I think the Astros have a couple good games, but ultimately the Braves pull it out.
See, I don't buy the Astros.
I keep saying the Braves, the A's.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I'm looking at their logos, and their logos are very similar.
Yes, they are. They're kind of, a little bit. But no, I agree. The Astros, I don't think they're real. I think we've seen them exposed, and I think they honestly got lucky that they faced the Braves instead of like the A's or like
the Braves.
Any other team was the Braves, or they faced the Braves. Yeah, did I say the Braves too?
Yeah.
Oh my God! And they faced they're lucky that they faced the Twins. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate that one.
Yeah.
They're lucky that they faced the Twins.
Now they face the Braves, and then they'll face the Braves to face the Braves in the World Series.
Yeah, they're lucky that they faced the Twins more than any other team, because the Twins are the biggest choke artists in practically modern baseball.
Yeah.
Other than the Rangers.
Yeah.
But but yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. I don't see the Astros going back to the World Series. I don't see any chance whatsoever, especially with that rotation and the pitching staff in total. I don't see any chance of it. So, My pick is the A's and Dodgers. What's yours to close it out?
I'm not going to commit to an AL team. The Dodgers for sure. I'm going to go the winner of Tampa and New York.
Tampa, New York?
Yeah.
Well, I think the Rays win that series, so.
I hope. Screw the Yankees. But let's jump over to the Rangers since we were just trashing them. They got the number 2 pick in the draft. Who you wanting them to take with it?
So honestly, I've been reading a lot of reports about the number 2 pick, and obviously Kumar Rocker is the clear favorite, number 1, and obviously as he should be because he's projected to be like the next big deal, next big pitcher, right? Well, what's shaking out to be the clear consensus number 2 pick is this catcher, and his name is Adrian Del Castillo. So Del Castillo slashed 336, 430, and 571 over the 2019 and 2020 seasons with 14 home runs, 24 doubles, and more walks, which was 43 walks, than strikeouts, which was 32. According to Baseball America's profile, Del Castillo is a offensive first catcher, but he has spent time with Kansas City Royals catcher Salvador Perez to improve behind the dish. Salvador Perez was phenomenal. Was absolutely phenomenal behind the dish. He was an incredibly defensive and honestly turned into a really well offensive catcher as well. And honestly, I mean that would give the Rangers so much dynamic to have an offensive catcher, especially one that hits for average like that. It would honestly improve this lineup so much. It would allow a guy like Sam Huff to move to first base. And I mean, you have Sam Huff moving to first base. It opens up everything for these young guys. And in 2023, this lineup would be looking an insanely amount different. And honestly, it makes me excited. It makes me really excited that we actually have a second round pick. But I have seen the Rangers multiple years of my life. Literally had my hopes up very, very high in my life, and they've always disappointed me on something. And so I wouldn't doubt that they screw up this pick. But we have a couple other updates. I mean, Ray Davis, the owner of the Rangers, with the partners and ownership group, said they're not selling the team, which kind of scares me. Unfortunately, yeah. And they're going to be strapped for cash next year, which they've already announced. And so I don't really know. And I mean, you're going to have to rely on the scouting and development of this team, which has never been the strong point. And so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Del Castillo seems like a can't miss pick, but we'll see. I mean, other than that, they've taken Dylan Tate before, who was a bust. I mean, they've taken bust after bust in the first round picks. Yeah. The only one that doesn't seem like a bust, maybe Josh Young.
Yeah, it looks like they finally have it together with their first round picks now that they're actually taking college guys instead of high schoolers.
And literally every metrics department in the world says with your first round pick, take the most polished guy you can find.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why everybody skipped over Mike Trout. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I think they have a good young core going now with Josh Young and I think Foscue, or I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
Foscue.
Yeah, the guy who they took like 16th in the draft. Two good infielders. They can add the catcher. So then they'd have Foscue at second, Young at third, Sam Huff at first, Anthony Tejada at shortstop. And
I disagree with Tejada at shortstop. I think Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is your shortstop for the future. Yes, you're right. And honestly, he might win the Gold Glove this year.
You're right. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is the shortstop. And then what was his last name?
Del Castillo.
Del Castillo at catcher. Seems like a solid team. Lots of upside there. Of course, the Rangers have to get those guys to develop, and they're not very good at that. So we'll see. Yeah,
I mean, we'll see. I mean, if they haven't done it before, but maybe they'll start proving us wrong. And but honestly, I think if they don't start seeing some of these young guys develop, I think John Daniels is gone after this next year. And as much as I've been a John Daniels supporter, And I mean, you got to put your money where your mouth is sometimes. And honestly, I think it's starting to show. I think after this next year, if nobody shows up, if none of these young guys start proving their worth, I think John Daniels is gone. I think Chris Woodward is gone. Honestly, I support Chris Woodward being gone anyways, but yeah, I think there's a lot of
Question
I
marks.
honestly don't. Yeah, question marks. I don't even think it's optimism. I don't think there's any optimism on the horizon for the Rangers, and we're just gonna have to sit here and wait.
Yeah, it's definitely more question marks than optimism right now.
Yeah. All right. So you wanna end up on a little bit of Astros talk real quick?
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah. So I know they won the series, and I know neither of us are really Astros fans, but to be true to Texas, we got to give a little bit of Astros talk, and and honestly, I think that the reason they won this series was more at fault of the Twins only scoring 2 runs through 2 games than the Astros really showing up. And
it could be good pitching,
and it could have been good pitching, but I mean, I know it was good pitching in the first game. I mean, come on. I mean, you got Zach Greinke on the mound. You expect something good, but he only pitched for 4 innings. And so, I mean, it's just the Twins just not showing up again. And so I don't know, man. I don't buy them. I think that them being under so much pressure this year after cheating really has came down over them, and I think it's showing. And especially out of everybody, I think it's showing in Altuve. I don't care that he brought it back a little bit, but I mean, after a full season worth, his numbers still wouldn't be very good.
Yeah,
projecting wise.
Yeah.
And so,
but still,
he's been chasing and been ugly
for winning that series.
I mean, props to him coming in after being the first team, I believe, since I don't even remember, to make the postseason with a losing record.
Shout out to the Rangers for giving them that losing record.
Yeah, right. Shout out Rangers.
The one thing they did right this season.
Yeah, right. The only thing that they've done right the entire year, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Milwaukee Brewers and Houston Astros made history in 2020 by becoming the first teams with a losing record to reach the MLB postseason.
And what's crazy is the Astros won the first round.
Yeah, and what's crazy, the Astros won the first round, and they shouldn't have. They absolutely shouldn't have. The Twins were a better team. I think if Josh Donaldson was in the lineup, it would have been different, but
I don't know. Donaldson was pretty bad this year.
Yeah, but Donaldson has been known to show up in big games. But,
that's true. Yeah.
But, yeah, that's honestly about it for baseball. I think this is where we're ending off at tonight.
Yeah.
And, thank you, Graeme, for coming on. And, we're about to move on to different show times. For the foreseeable future, we're going to be doing 2 shows a week, and each one is going to be under an hour, right?
Yeah, we're going to aim to get them around an hour. They'll be dropping on Mondays and Fridays.
Absolutely. And they'll be dropping about like 8 to 9 a.m., something like that. And we'll continue to get you good content, better content, because you guys will be able to listen to everything a little bit more stat-driven, a little bit more availability to go over and talk over about a little bit of everything, honestly, and getting more detail about things, because we'll be doing multiple episodes. So we're really excited to bring you guys that. And
make sure y'all follow us on social media, Texas 3-Step, pretty much everywhere. I think our username's the same.
Instagram,
on all
Twitter,
sides. Facebook,
everything. Facebook,
YouTube,
yes, YouTube.
I think Tyler makes a TikTok with the account and does dances.
Tyler has a mixtape as well. Follow him there.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, that's about it.
Thank y'all for listening, and shout out to Texas Sports Life. Y'all have a great weekend.